Okay, the story is brother and sister. A long time ago, there was a brother and a sister, poor brother and sister. Their mother and father were dead, and so they were taken care of by their stepmother. Stepmother is not a real mother, your father's new wife, the second wife. So these children were taken care of by a stepmother. And this stepmother had her own child, own daughter, and so naturally this stepmother liked her own daughter better, and she did not like this brother and sister. And so this mother never gave these children much food, and so these children were always eating hard crumbs of bread, so bread crumbs. Now the brother said one day to his sister, "Sister, let's leave this house. Our stepmother kicks us when we go near her, and she never gives us anything good to eat. The dog under the table gets better food than we do. The dog is better off than we are. Let's leave this house." And so the brother and sister decided to leave the house, and they went away. They walked and walked and walked, and then sometimes it rained, and the sister said, "Oh, the sky is crying for us because we are so sad." And so they walked and they ate berries and nuts and things like that. But the stepmother was really a witch. She was a bad, evil witch. And this stepmother knew that these children had left the house. And so she secretly crept after these children. Crept after means creep after. She walked slowly, quietly, without being seen after these children. And she knew that these children were hungry, and especially they were very, very thirsty. So the brother said to his sister, "Sister, I am very thirsty. I need to go find some water." And so they were walking. And then they came to a small brook, a small river. And then the boy was going to drink some water from the brook. And then the sister heard the brook was saying something. The brook was saying, "Please do not drink this water. If you drink this water, you will become a tiger." And so the girl said to her brother, "Brother, do not drink this water. If you drink this water, you will become a beast." Beast is a wild animal, tiger. "You will become a beast, and you will tear me into pieces." Tear me into pieces. Tear somebody into pieces means, you scratch and rip and tear somebody into small pieces. So the brother said, "All right, I am very thirsty, but I will not drink it." And then they walked a little further, and then they came to another brook, and then he was going to drink the water, and then she heard again the brook was saying, "Please do not drink this water. If you drink this water, you will become a bear." Well, the girl said, "Please, brother, do not drink this water, because you will become a bear, and you will devour me." Devour means to eat very wildly, like you will devour me, so please do not drink this water. And so the brother didn't drink that water. And then they walked a little longer, and they came to another brook. By this time, the brother couldn't stand it anymore. He was so thirsty. As soon as he saw this water, he drank it. And then immediately, he was changed to a roebuck. Roebuck is a deer. It's a boy deer. Deer is an animal that you can find in Nara Park. Anyway, he became a baby deer. Fawn, but roebuck. Anyway, he became a deer. Now the sister was very sad. But then she thought maybe this animal might run away, so she quite quickly made a soft cord. Soft cord is a rope. made a soft cord from something, and she tied it around his neck, and she said, "Do not run away." And so she walked with this animal for a little bit more, and then she came to a little house. And so they decided to live in this house. Now, the girl went outside and gathered grass and moss. Grass is like grass, green grass, and moss is also a grass, but very, very thin grass. You can see sometimes on different rocks. When you go to a rock garden in Kyoto, sometimes they have a moss garden too. There's a big rocks, there are big rocks, and there are green moss around the rock because the rock is a little bit moist, and so that's moss. The girl gathered grass and moss, and she made a beautiful soft bed for the roebuck. And then she slept on roebuck, this body. She made the roebuck became her pillow. And so brother and sister began to live in this house, and they went outside and found berries and nuts and things like that. And they lived happily there for a while, for many, not many, but for several years. Well, it would have been a perfect life if the brother wasn't a animal, but then they lived happily for for several years there. Now, the girl was maybe about 17, 18 years old, and the little baby deer became a big deer, and he was a roebuck, and they were living in this forest. One day, they heard some huntsmen were hunting something outside in the forest. They heard this noise, beep, 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 or boo, 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 boo. You know, they heard the noise, and they heard the barking of the dogs. Wah, 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 wah. Well, when the roebuck heard this, he became quite excited. He said, "Sister, I want to go outside. I can't stand being in here. I want to go out there and run." And so the sister said, "Oh, no, you can't go outside. When a huntsman finds you, he might shoot you and you might be killed, and I don't want you to go. If you are killed, I have to live here all by myself, and I will starve to death." But then he said, no, let me go. So she said, "All right, you can go there. You can go, but keep this golden ribbon around your neck, so that I can distinguish, I can see which one is the you, because there are many other roebucks out there." And then she also said, "When you come home, this is a password. You say, 'Little sister, open,' and then I will open the door. So this is a password." And so he said, "All right," and he went outside. And he went out there, and then he went to the place where the hunting was going on, and he saw it, and he was happy, and he was running around, and the huntsman saw him, beautiful roebuck, and this beautiful roebuck had a golden ribbon around his neck, and so they were quite interested in this roebuck, and they followed this roebuck, and then they lost it. So the first day, roebuck came home, and he knocked on the door, and he said, little sister, open." And so she opened the door, and the roebuck came home, and she was happy. But the next day again, there was hunting going on in the forest, and so this roebuck went out again, and then this time, the huntsman followed this roebuck, and then when the roebuck came back, he said this password, little sister, open," and he went inside the house. And so this huntsman was very curious, and he went back and he said this to his king. Well, the king said, "I am interested in find out what this roebuck is doing." And so they followed this roebuck the next day, and they came to this house, and then the king heard the roebuck say, little sister, open." And the roebuck went inside. The door opened, and the roebuck went inside. And so he thought, aha, maybe I will do that tomorrow. So the next day, during the day, the king came to this little house, and he knocked on the door, and he said, little sister, open." And then the door opened, and the king went inside, and there he saw a beautiful young woman. And he fell in love with this young girl, and he said, "Who are you?" And so she explained who she was, and and the Roebuck was her little sister, a little brother, and she had this witch mother and all that stuff. And then he said, "Oh, would you please marry me? I really like you." And so she said, "If you take my brother too, sure." And so this king took this little sister, she wasn't little anymore, but a young woman, and the Roebuck to his castle, and the king married her. Now, but this is not the end of the story. You see, the witch mother, she thought that these little children were dead in the forest. But then later she found out that these little children had grown up, and the king came and took this young woman, this sister, to his castle and married her, and now she was well off. Well off means wealthy and doing very well. And so this witch mother was not happy. The witch mother was not happy that this stepdaughter became a queen, and so she wasn't happy. And then her own daughter said, "Mother, I would like to be a queen too." And then mother said, "Of course, no problem, I will make it happen." So they waited for a while, and then this young queen became pregnant. She had a baby, and she was pregnant, and she had a baby, and it was a little boy. They had a prince. Now the king was very, very happy, but king was gone one day. He left for a trip for one day, and the queen was sleeping in her bed, and the baby was sleeping in the nursery. See, they didn't sleep, the baby and the mother didn't sleep together. The baby was sleeping in the nursery, the baby room, with a nurse. Now, this witch mother came into this queen's room, disguised as one of the maids, and she said, disguise means she put her clothes on, which made her look like a maid, and she came in and she said, "Queen, bath is ready. You must be very tired after having a baby, and so come and take a bath in a warm water that will relax you." And so the queen said, "That sounds like a great idea," and so she went into the bathroom. And then this witch mother began to heat up this bathroom, and it got to be very, very hot, and the queen was thinking, "My goodness, it is hot, hot, hot," but then soon it became so deadly hot. This deadly heat suffocated her. Suffocate means she couldn't breathe anymore, and she couldn't breathe anymore, so she died. So the queen died in the bathroom. Then this witch mother brought her own daughter. But this own daughter, this daughter is the daughter of a witch, and this daughter was a very ugly girl. Not only she was ugly, she only had one eye. Maybe she had only one eye, or she had one eye here, I don't know, but she only had one eye. And she made this witch's daughter put on the queen's dress, nightgown, and went to the queen's bedroom, and she was in the bed. Well, the king came home, and then the witch mother, disguised as a maid, she said to the king, "King, your wife is very, very tired, and it's not a good idea to have the sunlight come into the bedroom. So please make sure to have the curtains closed so that no lights will come in, because she is very, very exhausted after having a baby." Now, the king said, "Of course, I will have the curtain closed." And so he went into the bedroom and he closed the curtain. And so he did not know that this woman in the bed was her own, it was his own wife. He didn't know that this was a false queen. Wrong queen, false queen. Now, that night, after the queen was suffocated in the bathroom, she came into the baby's room, baby's nursery. And the nurse was sleeping, but then she noticed that somebody came in, so the nurse woke up, and then she saw the queen came into the nursery. And the queen picked up the baby. Then the queen nursed the baby. Nursed the baby means gave milk to the baby. Queen nursed the baby, and after she nursed the baby, she put the baby in the cradle. Cradle is a baby bed that moves. She put the baby in the cradle. She put the cover, quilt. She put the cover or quilt on the baby to cover the baby, and then she stroked the baby. Stroke means she stroked the baby. And then she went over to the corner because Roebuck was sleeping in the corner. She went over to the Roebuck and she stroked the Roebuck, and then she disappeared. The nurse thought that was a little bit strange because it was in the middle of the night. She went to the guard because the guard was standing outside the door of the nursery. So she went to the guard and said, "Did you see the queen come into this nursery? Did anybody come in?" And the guard said, "No, nobody passed this door. Came into the nursery." So the nurse thought that was very strange. Well, a few more nights, the same thing happened. And one night, the queen came to this nursery, and she said, I will only come to this nursery 2 more times." She said, I will come here, and 2 more nights, I won't be able, after 2 more nights, I will not come here anymore, she said. The nurse heard this, and she thought that was very strange. So she watched 1 more night. And then the next night, the woman came, the queen came and said, "I will come 1 more night, but I will not come anymore." So the nurse became a little bit worried, alarmed, and so she went to the king and said, "King, queen has been coming to the nursery for some time during the night, and now she says she will not come anymore. Tomorrow is the last night." And then the king said, "That is very strange." And so the king came to the nursery, and he sat with the nurse and watched. And then soon the queen came in, and she picked up the baby, she nursed the baby, and then she put the baby in the cradle. She put the quilt over the baby, and she stroked the baby, and she stroked the Roebuck, and she said, "I will not come here anymore." And then king stood up, and he said, "You are my wife. What are you doing here? I thought you were sleeping in the bed." And then bang, something happened. This woman came back alive, and she said, "Oh, king, I was dead, but you saved me. I could come back alive because of your words," she said. She said, "My witch mother killed me while I was taking a bath. And the woman whom you are sleeping with is my stepsister, and she has only 1 eye." So the king went over, and he found out the woman who was sleeping in the bed was not his true wife, and he caught this witch mother, and he sent this witch mother to be judged at the court. Well, the court decided this woman should be burned to death. So the witch mother was burned to death. When this witch mother was burned to death, the magic was gone. The spell was gone, and Roebuck gained his true form, and Roebuck became the queen's brother. And so they were very, very happy, and that was very good. And then what happened to this sister with 1 eye? The king did not like this, that the woman with 1 eye deceived him so, and so he made her run into the forest so that she will die in the forest by herself maybe eaten by beasts, or maybe she would have starved to death. But he said, go into the forest and don't come back anymore. So that's what happened. So the brother and sister became happy, and they lived happily ever after in the castle.